It's time for a new edition on this channel called I Disagree with These Instagram Comments, so I'm going to make a video on them, okay? I thought about calling it Exposing the Casuals, but I know you guys would have too much fun with that one, all right? And I don't think these people are casuals. I just have two really good stories on Instagram, two good posts that I happen to disagree with the comment sections on, and I really wanted to talk about it, okay? Because I was cooking up a great video today, a big video. I thought it was going to go viral, and then I checked Instagram. I was taking a nice little break, and I see a bunch of screaming angry DP fans that I've been battling it out with over the past week going at Islam Makhachev for saying the truth, which is Dustin Poirier does not deserve a title fight. Now, let me just get this out of the way. There's no other option right now because Makhachev got injured this winter and was seen doing muscle-ups and taekwondo kicks about a day after he announced he was injured. It was a little bit suspicious, is it not? But either way, he was supposed to fight in the winter. He got injured, and that's why the UFC booked Gaethje versus Max, which they never should have because they should have waited for the Ilya Topuria versus Volk fight to take place because now that Ilya's won, he doesn't have a clear-cut contender where it could have been Max, who is still on a 2-fight win streak at featherweight and should be fighting in Spain next, not at UFC 300. But of course, the UFC needed UFC 300 fights because they were lacking, they were slacking, and now Justin Gaethje, who is on a 2-fight win streak after knocking out Dustin Poirier, taking on a young contender like Rafael Fiziev, needs one more to prove that he can get his shot. And Dustin Poirier, who got slept by Justin Gaethje a fight ago, is going to get a title shot over the guy that has to get 3 wins in a row, including one over him that he's already got. It is insane to me that anyone thinks Dustin deserves the title shot. The only reason he should get one is because there's a logjam in the division, and it's better to keep the champ active than not. All right, because we know Islam Makhachev loves to fight in Abu Dhabi, and if he fights in June, he's most likely going to fight in Abu Dhabi as well. Unless the UFC's not going to Abu Dhabi this year, but I don't think that's the case. They always do it. So, I mean, let's be fucking honest, guys. Charles Oliveira, he deserves it more. If he gets a win over Arman Tsarukyan, if Arman Tsarukyan gets a win over Charles, he deserves it more. Dustin Poirier is not the most deserving contender, and even Max Holloway would be more deserving if he beats Justin Gaethje, which is a guy that's on a 2-fight win streak in the top 5. But I don't mind Dustin getting a title fight sooner rather than later because, again, no one else is going to get one anytime soon. Charles is not going to turn around for June. Arman's not going to turn around for June. We're not going to see Justin Gaethje do it. We're not going to see Max Holloway do it. So this could be the fight to make. But look at these comments, man. And let's just listen to what Islam has to say.
Is you'd like to fight in June and against Dustin Poirier after his win? Is that what you're hoping for right now?
Yeah, because I know Dustin it's not deserve the title fight, but we don't have any option right now. Everybody busy, but I want to fight, I want to fight like 3 times in the year. That's why I just have to call someone. And Poirier is free now, and he showed like excellent performance.
Excellent performance. Man. I don't think his performance was excellent, okay? I don't think he got destroyed in the first round. Let's just say that. And then, the guy gassed out and made some mistakes and had horrible striking defense, and Dustin Poirier, the great striker that he is, took advantage of it. So it was a good performance. He got him out of there in 2 rounds. It was good, but his opponent was significantly handicapped, and Dustin struggled early on heavily.
And scored a beautiful knockout. That's why he's free now. He's healthy. And I asked him to fight in June, maybe.
So let's just read some of these comments. Though, because I really do think that these are silly. So this guy says, doesn't deserve it, dude. You fight once a year. I just don't understand what that has to do with anything. But what was the first comment? Didn't you beat Bobby Green for a title shot? I was pissed at that. I'm going to be honest. But let's not act like Islam Makhachev was booked to fight Bobby Green before he got his title shot against Charles Oliveira. I think he was booked to fight Beneil Dariush or Rafael Dos Anjos. They pulled out, and Bobby stepped in on short notice. Okay? And, when people say things like, didn't you beat this guy to get a title fight? Didn't you beat this guy to get a title fight? I understand saying that, for example, if they win the belt and then they lose it immediately after. But, you see people do the same thing with Alex Pereira. Dude, you had to get like a couple wins to get your title fight. It was handed to you on a silver platter. You're lucky that you had that win back in the day over Izzy. You didn't really deserve it, man. The easiest path to a title ever. But it doesn't really make a lot of sense to say that right now, to discredit him as a champion, because he's beat Adesanya, he's beat Sean Strickland, he's beat Jan Blachowicz, and he's beat Yuri Prohaska. So he's proven at this point that he actually is good enough to be at the top of that division. Okay? People literally still say that about Pereira to discredit him right now. Dude is the most over. Like, he's been beating all the top guys. So I guess he's proven it. Same thing with Islam Makhachev. He smoked Charles Oliveira and shut him down easily on the feet. Had the cleanest looking performance we've ever seen out of anyone that's ever fought Charles. Prime Charles, that is. Prime Charles. And that's a great win. And then a win over the pound-for-pound number one fighter on the planet at the time. The second Volk win, it's not that great, but the guy just beat Charles Oliveira, and he just beat Volkanovski. And you see people saying things like, don't deserve it? Learn some respect, man. DP shits in your resume, man. No, he doesn't. Dustin Poirier got submitted by Khabib. He got submitted by Charles Oliveira. He got knocked out by Michael Johnson. And he got knocked out by Justin Gaethje. All in his prime. That's right. Prime Dustin Poirier has been KO'd twice and submitted twice. And he's gotten his fucking ass whooped a bunch of times too. But anyway, this guy says DP shits on your resume. I mean, Dustin Poirier may have more quantity wins, but not a single one of his wins is better than Islam Makhachev's best two. So let's just get that out of the way. Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje, first of all, 1-1 with Justin Gaethje. It's a clean slate. It's like Alex Pereira and Adesanya in MMA, clean slate. They're both 1-1. All right? So he's not pulled ahead of Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje's actually closing the gap when it comes to building a good resume. He was the first guy to snap Tony Ferguson's losing streak. But back to my point, people just act like resume is all about only wins, when it should be about the ratio of wins to losses. And then, if all things are close, who has the better quality wins? Who has the better losses? When I say better losses, it's like, it's one thing if you lose to Michael Johnson. It's another thing if you lose to a pound-for-pound number one fighter or some shit. So let's take this into account. Dustin Poirier has been smoked 4 times in his prime in the lightweight division, and his best wins are over who? A younger Justin Gaethje not in his prime, because the Gaethje today is in his prime and is the best Justin Gaethje that there is. A guy like Max Holloway on short notice. Fair enough, it's still a good win. It is still a good win. But it was a short notice fight. Listen, it's a really good win. He has quality. But I think that beating the pound-for-pound number one fighter, Volkanovski, who happens to be a top 5 fighter of all time, I think that beating the guy in Charles Oliveira, who is considered by most fans to be the second best lightweight ever, on the verge of passing up Khabib, beating him is better than beating a guy like Benoit Saint Denis, Conor McGregor, just resume-wise. Resume-wise. And then, even though Islam Makhachev doesn't have as many great wins, he has far less losses. He got knocked out like once in the beginning of his career and got wins over guys like Arman Tsarukyan, Dan Hooker. People are going to say, Dan Hooker, man. Yeah, Islam Makhachev disposed of Dan Hooker in 1 minute. Dustin Poirier went to hell and back with him. So are we just going to sit in here and act like Dan Hooker's a freaking bum? Dan Hooker just bounced back and beat Jalen Turner. Say what you want about Dan Hooker. He's a decent lightweight. That's a decent win. Islam Makhachev also got past the beast that is Thiago Moises. He got past freaking crafty, dangerous man Bobby Green with pillow hands. All right? No, but let me be honest. He's running through these guys in minutes. I actually think that Islam Makhachev, because he has less losses, because his best wins are better quality than Dustin's, Charles and Volkanovski, both of those guys have better resumes than anyone Dustin's ever beat. I think he has a better resume, okay? It's not just about quantity of good wins. Like, Islam Makhachev has a fuckload of wins. He's on a 12-fight win streak, and he's beat 2 of the best fighters to ever do it. Dustin Poirier has beat a bunch of the best fighters to ever do it, too. But he's also had a bunch of L's, all right? L's count. L's count, all right? But let's get on to these other comments. Islam saying a top contender doesn't deserve the title fight is so... I mean, it is, though. I kind of agree with it. Because I remember how annoying it was for Makhachev and Khabib fans to be acting like Makhachev was the rightful champ, the rightful heir all along, when he just beat Bobby Green. But at the same time, he kind of proved that he was the better guy at this point. That he proved that he's a good champ. And when I say good champ, I mean, come on. You're telling me a win over Charles Oliveira, smoking him easily, is not a good win, and then beating the pound-for-pound number one and beating him twice, even though he showed up fat as fuck in the rematch? Yeah, anyway. Let's see if there are any bad comments. Actually, I just think it was like this one comment that fucking got me going, man. So Jake, whoever you are, man, you freaking inspired me to make this video. But yeah, the BMF belt is so annoying, man. The UFC could have had Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria booked, ready to go, sealed, signed. They could have been setting up the stadium. It could have been going down this June. Instead, we have Ilia Topuria waiting out for Volkanovski, who we know deserves it, but it's not interesting. He's fucked against Ilia Topuria. I don't want to see that fight. It's useless. Okay? And then who else is there? Evloev coming off of a fucking robbery? We could have had Max on a 2-fight win streak versus Ilia. We could have had Justin Gaethje getting ready to fight Islam in June. I get it. UFC 300 gets another good fight. I'm starting to like the matchup a little bit more between Gaethje and Max now that Max is bulking up a bit. I'm starting to prefer that matchup a little bit more. But at the same time, there's a logjam. And just know that that's the only reason why it would be at least acceptable for Dustin to even be considered. And I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it right now. But, saying he deserves it is kind of crazy. And I do agree with people talking about how, the BMF belt was pointless. But let's get on to this as well. Umar Nurmagomedov and Cory Sandhagen going at it a little bit. Cory Sandhagen in recent interviews has said that he is still open to fighting Umar while he waits for a title shot because he knows that Merab is next. I think it's a horrible business move for Cory Sandhagen because he very well could lose to Umar Nurmagomedov and he's going to have to take like 5 steps back instead of just being on the verge of getting a title shot, because we all want to see Cory versus O'Malley. It's just a dream matchup. But Umar is saying, I'll read the quote. Umar says, I think I can beat Cory in the striking too. But I think why I have to give him some chance. I take him down, I can choke him and dominate him and maul him. That's why I'm always choosing to hold people and take downs and try to finish and smash their face, brother. Okay, he left out a couple of brothers. I'll add them in just for it to make a little bit more sense. But the fans, hearing Umar say that he thinks he could stand with Cory, I think it's kind of funny because, listen, guys, although I do agree that Cory Sandhagen is a better striker, people are sitting here and acting like Cory Sandhagen would, knock this dude out in the first round and smoke him with a big, powerful bomb. All right? Cory Sandhagen fans, I'm a fan of Sandhagen too. I love Sandhagen. He's one of my favorite fighters. He's one of the best strikers. He's got one of the highest fight IQs in the game. The guy shows up with lab coats and test tubes and beakers, but all those test tubes and beakers are not going to give him knockout power in his hands. Cory Sandhagen is not a powerful dude. I know he's knocked out some people with flying knees and spinning wheel kicks, but if he's not landing a flush flying knee on an old man jitterbug Frankie Edgar, and he's not landing a spinning wheel kick on a hollow head Marlon Moraes, then he's usually not sleeping dudes. And let me just say this. Let's read the fucking comments. This guy says, got dropped by a debutant and thinks he can strike with Cory. Beksat Al-Makan. I'm not going to sit here and act like he's on Cory's level at all. But Beksat Al-Makan is a powerful, quick twitch striker. Extremely fast. Cory is the long, rangy, wiry, keep the jab halfway extended in your face and just pop it out there every once in a while. Every now and then he'll have a nice, fast flying knee attempt. But he's not the quickest twitch, explosive guy in the division. He's just not. Beksat is extremely explosive and caught Umar with a bomb over the top. That was super fast. Okay? Cory Sandhagen's not fucking smoking him with a Kamaru Usman right hand. I don't think that's going to happen. Cory Sandhagen is a lean, wiry.
I'm going to be honest here. You kind of built like a pipsqueak.
Hold on. Cory's a beast, though. Cory's tough. I think Umar beats him, dude. I'm going to be honest. Cory, please don't take this fight. I actually think Umar beats him, but let's continue. Oh, my God. This guy says, Translation, I can take him down and do 0 damage while holding him there for 25 minutes. Anyone saying 0 damage when it comes to Umar Nurmagomedov and his ground and pound is just echoing what they think they're supposed to say. If they watched his last fight against Beksat Almakhan, then they must have been on their phone, not paying attention. And sure, it wasn't the most entertaining fight, but you just, again, were you watching that with a fucking blindfold? Because Umar Nurmagomedov bubbled up that guy's face. Like, almost made him look like O'Malley made Cheeto with ground and pound shots, was actively whooping his ass on the ground with good ground and pound shots. He's submitted 3 people in the UFC, and he's beat the fuck out of everyone he's basically taken down. At least hurt them pretty badly. His fight with Nate Maness, he was messing them up too with ground and pound strikes. So the whole can't do damage thing, let's just get that out of the equation. This ain't fucking Alexander Pantoja. And I think I actually responded to this guy saying this is the type of guy to sit here and tell us that Alexander Pantoja is, man, you don't want to get taken down by him, man. Like, Umar Nurmagomedov is actually a dangerous grappler, and Pantoja, when he's not getting his submission once every 5 years, he is a stinky stinkfest at all times, half-guard camper, and that's that, okay? Umar Nurmagomedov actually lands ground and pound. I don't understand this narrative that do no damage. Why? Because he has the fucking Dagestani look? Anyway, this guy says, smash, smash, smash. Someone teach these guys some new words. Cory in 2. Yeah, that is funny. I didn't understand it at first. Yeah, because he said, I was like, he didn't say smash in the quote, but he did. Listen, Cory Sandhagen does not beat Umar Nurmagomedov in 2 rounds. His chances by decision. Unless he flying knee KOs him, I don't think Umar Nurmagomedov is getting flying knee KO'd like Jitterbug Frankie Edgar, doing the Irish jig in his old age. I don't think that's the case. Umar Nurmagomedov, you want to know why I think he could beat Cory? Stylistically, because Cory Sandhagen is the long, wiry striker that's going to be kicking at range, plodding at range. I'm not going to say plodding, but, you know, sticking the jab out there, jab halfway extended. He's not that dangerous on the feet. Like, he's good at doing damage. Don't get me wrong. I think he could cut Umar up. I think he could hurt him to the body a little bit, hurt him to the legs. He's got a really unorthodox style. He definitely is a better striker, but he's built a little bit frail. He's a little bit frail. He's durable. Okay, 100% is he durable. But he's a little bit frail. And I think that if Umar, who is one of the biggest bantamweights, gets his hands on Cory, I think he can control him. You know, Cory Sandhagen, we know that his weakness is giving up his back. And although he's been offensively grappling really well lately, do I think he's going to offensively have success in the grappling against Umar? Probably not. I don't think that's going to be the case. But although he's been offensively grappling well lately, he still gives up his back in like every single one of his fights. Song Yadong, we never really see Song Yadong getting people's backs. Song Yadong was on Cory's back. Had him like in the backpack position while he was on the feet too. And Cory was able to get out of that, credit to him. But Song Yadong is a guy where you can afford giving up your back a little bit. You cannot do that with a guy like Umar Nurmagomedov. I think Cory even gave up his back at one point against Rob Font. Cory Sandhagen gave up his back to Petr Yan. He still gives up his back, and I just think that Umar could get his back, could choke him out, or at the very least could just get a hold of Cory with his really quick entries, out-muscle him, take him down, and control him, and land decent ground and pound shots. And I think, honestly, I might even pick him to win because control-wise, ground and pound, like, people are underrating Umar's ability to out-grapple people in the UFC, okay? Again, does he win on the feet? No, he doesn't. Does he KO Cory? Probably not. Cory's really durable, but Cory's going to have to basically just win on points and edge out 3 rounds. And I think it's going to be really difficult for him to do, but people are acting like Umar has no chance, which is why, as a Cory Sandhagen fan, I don't want him to fight Umar Nurmagomedov because I think it is a losable fight for him. And I really want to see him fight for the undisputed belt one day. He fought for the interim against Yan, which, let's be honest, should have been for the fucking undisputed because Aljamain Sterling still hadn't returned to beat Yan in the rematch. But we need to see him fight for the undisputed. I'd rather him just sit out, okay? But I really do respect Cory Sandhagen for wanting to fight Umar. But let's look at some of these other comments. Dagestani hating bums are going to cry. He's not wrong. Umar's last opponent, Beksat, has an even higher level of striking background. Okay, that's fucking crazy. Hey. I don't know. I can't agree with that. All right, let's chill out. A higher striking background than Cory? What? In like kickboxing? It doesn't matter if Cory Sandhagen didn't do any kickboxing back in the day. As an MMA striker, he's proven himself as a high-level MMA striker. Okay? Let's not get crazy here. I don't think he actually wants to stand with Cory. Again, like, I think he can afford to stand with Cory. He has long, wiry kicks. He has an okay jab. Not the best with his hands, but he can also play the long, wiry style. I don't think him standing with Cory is some kind of a death sentence. It's not like you're standing with O'Malley. It's not even like you're standing with a guy like Jan. People have been able to stand with Cory and not really get hurt, okay? Cory doesn't really fuck people up and hurt them that bad on the feet. He's good at creating cuts. He's good at outpointing people and just beating them via skill, which is impressive. But this is a guy that's going to frustrate him by taking him down. My God, get a Cory a true established high-ranked opponent. Then a title shot. Stop scamming this man. Cory Sandhagen wants to fight Umar, brother. He wants to. Anyway, I just like reading comments in that voice. Nah, he don't want the smoke with Cory on the feet. He literally said he's not going to stand with him, but he thinks he could beat him. Listen, I think that he's just being confident, but I agree. He could not beat Cory on the feet. So I understand why people are clowning him. But I just love, like, this narrative that, nah, man, Cory's a fucking slugger, man. He's got this one-hitter quitter. It's like they're trying to make it seem as if he's got this one-hitter quitter. All right? Like he's got these big, meaty hooks. He don't. Cory could time a knee right up the middle. He could. He might be able to, honestly. I'm slowly but surely being convinced by the casuals. I started this whole video exposing the casuals. But we're not exposing any casuals. Honestly, I just wanted to talk about these two issues. Wanted to break these two things down, guys. There were no casuals in the comments. I take that back. I was cooking with another video, but I thought I would just get this one out anyway. So yeah, shout out to everyone watching this. Until next time.